Well, this is hardly a secret that world today is very, very, very complicated place. We have war in Ukraine. We have huge instabilities and regional wars in Middle East. We have really toxic presidential election in United States, which has huge impact not only on America but on the world itself. So it's no surprise that you are seeing lots of really disturbing headlines. But at the same time, did you know that I would say the oldest and one of the most widely known markets and commodities are completely neglected, but yet it has been able to reach its all-time high? Yes, of course. I am talking about gold because this year gold has reached from roughly $2,000 per ounce to $2,700 per ounce. So let's explore this more deeply and understand where gold prices are heading. So, as you see now, we are here at the beginning of 2024 and we are at around $2,000 per ounce, which is not a bad place because this is historically one of the highest prices, depending on whether we are not looking adjusted for inflation or in absolute prices. But still, $2,000 per ounce is a high price. And these prices have been, I would say, remarkably stable given the fact that they rose at the height of COVID and then we had huge instabilities such as war in Ukraine. But now, despite this, it didn't fall either because at these years, all other financial markets such as crypto markets, commodity markets, or stock market, or interest rates rose and fall like a roller coaster. But gold held its ground and it was remarkably stable. But this stability ended on the upside. So at the March of this year, it spiked from 2000 to 2700, where it is now. Question is why? Well, some might say that because this is because of de-dollarization and central banks are simply moving from the dollar to the gold. But I wouldn't say this answers the question completely because central banks are no fools. They are having the same issue as we all have, namely, we need some hedge against instability. And that, I would say, it's the only reason why we are buying and keeping gold. Depends on our risk tolerance and views of the world. We always see that gold's sole purpose is to hold its ground when things are going completely bad. Because let's imagine we have hyperinflation, we have political crises where we have some power vacuum in some country, or even worse, we have wars or disastrous pandemics such as plague. What will be the one asset what we would all want? That would be gold. Because like if things are good, things are going great, capital markets are stable and everything is fine, yes, we will go to stocks and we will make money because companies are historically growing their profits. But in times of distress, we will sell our paper assets because they wouldn't have any worth at all, and we will buy something physical, which will be gold. Now, I wouldn't say this is the events of today because, well, all financial markets are strong, whether this is silver, which has also hit price records, but still silver correlates strongly with gold, so this is no surprise here. You see, oil is weak, so this is indication that this is not crisis of dollar or commodities, because if all other commodities will be hitting all-time highs and gold as well, that might be a different story. But now we see oil is remarkably stable and it keeps its stable prices regardless of fact that we have huge war in Ukraine and Russia is under sanctions. Russia is largest producer and exporter of oil, or at least was before war started, and we have instabilities in the Middle East which could grow into regional war where we have epicenter of world's oil production and exports. But even that doesn't have impact anymore on oil prices. And of course, stock market is strong, so there is no loss of confidence in United States because, well, S&P 500 just reached all-time high. And stuff as Bitcoin also, I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not bad either because it hits its all-time prices and it's quite stable. but I cannot say the same thing about other cryptocurrencies because, for instance, if we look at something as an Ethereum, we see that it had hot beginning of 2024, but now they have fallen. And this pattern is with all other major currencies as well. So crypto game is not that strong. But what we can conclude, first and foremost, global financial markets are strong because stock markets are at all-time highs. There is no acute commodity crises because, well, largest commodities are either stable or falling despite of the instabilities such as oil. There is no issues with United States government bonds or strength of the dollar, which would be if we have some instabilities in central banks or out of control inflation. This is not the case. And crypto markets, well, Bitcoin is strong because of its, I would say, usability as an hedge against inflation, similarly as with gold. Only it's done with the ledgers, and people do it outside of financial system. So it has kind of similar role as hedge against something bad, at least now because prices in other markets are high. Well, it would be seen how Bitcoin would work if something goes off. But now, when we have stable markets and stocks are at all-time high, it holds its ground quite good. But other cryptos not. Other cryptos are doing quite average, I would say, in comparison with the Bitcoin. So everything is more or less fine, but gold is still going higher. What does that mean? Well, probably people don't believe to people are done believing paper currencies that much, and they are slowly gravitating to something more safer. But this sort of thing happens all of the time, so I wouldn't say this rise is some sort of secret or something mysterious behind it or something. No, that happens with commodities. They are staying steady, they are falling, they're rising. So if you have some strategy where you keep your 10% in commodities such as gold, do that. If you don't, well, accumulate some part of your portfolio in gold. But do not think that gold will go to like $100,000 in next couple of months or something like that. It simply wouldn't happen like that unless something out of the usual order will happen. But then we will have different events and different videos. But now, if things stay more or less in the same pattern, well, simply use gold as you would use in last 50 or so years. Have proportion of your capital within gold. It will work great if there is huge inflation, but if things are going great, it will do at best approximately at the same as inflation does. Because if you will have ounce of the gold, you could be buying the same stuff you could be buying like 100 years ago in 1920s America as you could with the equivalent amount of gold. So it keeps it ground rather well, and this probably will be the same thing about gold in next hundreds of years. So if you use gold, think only in very, very large time frames. In short time frames, a lot of things might happen. This spike is interesting, but we simply cannot over exaggerate its importance. It's good if you hold it. If not, well, you missed good money making opportunity. But prepare for long term, think in long term, and then gold will behave as it has historically have done. And this is all I have to say for this video. So thanks for watching. Make sure you are watching other content, you are subscribing to me, and you're liking my videos. Thanks, I appreciate that. Till later.